Hello everyone, my name's Duncan White. Welcome to this Leaders in Fire and Safety podcast. I'm delighted today to be joined by Paul Rivers from Standard Fluids. Paul, welcome.
Thank you very much for the time.
It's great to have the opportunity to talk with such a respected professional in the industry. Paul, tell the listener a little bit about your background and how long you've been working with Standard Fluids.
Well, I'm one of the co-founders of Standard Fluids, and we started back in September of 2023 when we gathered together at the action of 3M exiting the business, and found out that we needed to form Standard Fluids to fill the gap where 3M exited. And so we met in Chicago, Illinois at that time, and the first thing we did was develop a strategic plan. So we had to know where we were going to go before we went. And we officially launched in October 1st of 2023. And so it's a little bit over 2.5 years now, I guess, coming up on 3 years. And it's been quite a ride so far, a little bit scary, but that's what happens when you're in a startup. So my experience before Standard Fluids is I actually was at 3M for 30 years and retired in 2020, and left the business in a very good stead at that time. And I was very surprised when they decided to exit the business. So, but they did, and it created an opportunity for us. So I've been in the fire protection business. Actually, this coming Saturday, I will be celebrating 50 years since I graduated from the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago, Illinois. Quite a milestone in my life, my professional life. So we continue to grow the business and develop the same brand promise that we had at 3M that we now have at Standard Fluids.
Exactly. Huge congratulations on such a tremendous achievement of 50 years within the industry. And on Saturday, I will remember to raise a glass of something to congratulate you, and I hope you will be doing the same. But you're very humble in your response to my question. I think that 3M and your longevity with the company and the way that you left the company in good stead was testament. And Standard Fluids was, as you say, there was a necessity for a gap filler, and you've certainly come into the market and undertaken that role.
No, I was just going to say that we've been very successful in reassembling the 3M team largely. We've brought in the expertise that we need to grow Standard Fluids and to meet our expectations of our strategic plan. And so it's been slow to do that, but we're making very great progress in that regard.
It always helps when all the pieces of the jigsaw come back together to show the picture. I'm going to look now, and it gives me interesting reading when I look about the technical DNA and the combined 150 years with Standard Fluids. The original fluorinated ketone technology, as lead inventor with that, tell us a little bit more about the approach to quality and the support compared to those companies reselling the generic product.
Our technology group are the ones that invented the whole fluorochemical business that developed the technology for the fluorinated ketone and also hydrofluoric ethers as halon replacements, as replacements for hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, and also PFCs. It's been a progression over the last 30-some years, 40 years. Well, maybe it's almost 40 years now. But the Montreal Protocol was in 1987, was ratified by internationally, and that set off the effort to replace CFCs and halons. And my expertise has been on the halon side of things. And in December 31st of 1992, at 11:59 p.m., the manufacturers of halon 1301 and halon 1211 ceased production. And at that point in time, we were developing new products, hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, and also the PFCs were all being developed along with inert gases. And so we developed those, and the ones that came out at that point in time were the HFCs. What 3M had expertise in was the perfluorocarbons, the PFCs, and those were materials that were non-ozone depleting, very safe, easy to manufacture for 3M. However, they had very long atmospheric lifetimes and global warming potentials. So they were not a product for the times at that time. So, but we had customers that liked those the performance of those products, particularly the U.S. military, and they said, go and invent something that looks just like that, but doesn't have the environmental issues associated with that. And that's what we did. So we have, at that time, back about 1998, 3M had a new materials team that was always looking for new products and new intermediates. And they were actually looking for an intermediate to manufacture the newly invented hydrofluoroethers that 3M had. And the intermediate was a C6 perfluoroketone. And they said, this looks a lot like one of the perfluorocarbons that we had to exit. And we don't know about the toxicity yet, but environmentally it's bulletproof. Send it down to Rivers Lab and see what we can do with that. And so we did, and it turned out that it was a great halon replacement, and it was a very much of a product that worked very well and could be commercially viable. And so we filed a patent at that time in 1999, a provisional patent, and filed the formal patent in 2000. That patent's now expired because the patents last about 20 years. And but that product has become the standard in the industry. And it will be the product that survives going through all the regulatory things that are going on for the next 10, 20 years. So that, and what's really important about that, what makes this very special is that since we invented a Novec 1230 at the time, now we're offering SF 1230 fire protection fluid. But since we invented that, no other product like it has been invented or discovered since then. That's how special that is. It was a product that is truly an amazing product that has the right balance of performance, safety, environmental, and commercial viability. Those properties are mutually exclusive. That means that you can do one of the things, and you can get one of the properties, but you're going to fall off on the other product. And to have that balance of those four key considerations is truly remarkable.
Excellent, yeah, and it, like you say, it ticked all the boxes, and it was the world was very interested when those results came back in relation to the environmental impact, and as they say, it did exactly what it said on the tin, which was hugely exciting. The exiting of 3M from the market at the end of 2025 created a lot of anxiety for a lot of clients of them. How are you, as Standard Fluids, helping the transition from those traditional 3M clients through the SF 1230, and to give them the reassurance that they're not sacrificing performance or any certification?
Right. So that's a great question. And one of the things that we have with a very successful product like Novec 1230 at the time is that as you get close to the end of the patent protection of that particular product, that successful product, other manufacturers begin to provide that product into the marketplace. But the difference between what they do and what the team at 3M did at the time, and now the Standard Fluids team, is that we not only know how to source the product and have it made, but we also know how to make it work and to support it in a very meaningful and intentional way. And so we know the manufacturers, so the original equipment manufacturers that would use the product. And we also had trade secret analytical methods that we've developed that assure the quality to no matter where it comes from in the world, the either raw materials or the actual product itself. So we assure the product quality to the point where what we offer actually meets the definition of made in America, so much so that the U.S. military now specifies the product. And that's quite an accomplishment to be able to do that in such a short period of time. So there's a real comfort by our customers in knowing that the team that was at 3M that's been reassembled is supporting the product today.
Excellent, and like you say, a huge honour for the U.S. military to give you guys the huge thumbs up in such a short period of time. So another testimony to the way that the Standard Fluids goes about their business. Looking at things from a buyer's perspective now, Paul, and things can look very similar when you're just referring to a data sheet, and which at times to the totally uninitiated, if you like, those that are still in the catch-22, where do we go since the changeover, and specifically where we're looking at manufacturing impurities, lack of technical field support. How are Standard Fluids coming in to assist in that sort of region?
No matter where that product is coming from, and to start off with, we didn't have a manufacturing facility, obviously, and that part of our strategic plan is to ultimately be manufacturing our own product, and that's always been from the get-go. We want to be doing that. So, but in absence of that right now, we have multiple sources of supply. All of it goes through our ISO 9001 certified laboratory. Each and every batch of material that's supplied as Standard Fluids SF1230 fire protection fluid is tested by our laboratory and validated because, frankly, people trusted what we offered at 3M at the time, and they now trust Standard Fluids because we actually test separately, no matter where it comes from, no matter what you see for a certificate of analysis from some other supplier, we test again. It's kind of belts and suspenders. I agree with that, but customers really appreciate that and they trust it that way. So that's one of the things that we do. The other thing is that when somebody calls up and asks what's the extinguishing concentration or the design concentration for a particular fuel, well, we have the answer for that. And if they need to do the testing, we can test it. We have the cup runner apparatus to be able to run those tests, to validate it. If you need to do some additional testing for a particular application, we have the engineering capability of doing that. No other supplier of the product, similar chemistry, can do that or will do that. So that's a key difference for us. Our engineering team, commercial team supports our end-use customers, either the OEM partners or their distribution or their end-use customers.
There's probably a lot of people listening at the moment thinking suspenders and belts. I'll just do a translation for those that in the UK. That's belt and braces. So there'll be those out there that have got totally different connotations on suspenders, but we'll leave that for a totally different conversation.
There you go. Okay, I see. Well, we're two people separated by a common language, so
we are indeed, and what's an S or a Z between friends, and and it's great to hear you say there that you will retest and you will provide that reassurance that even you won't take the word of a certificate coming in from another source, so you know that what goes out the door is exactly what it's meant to be. Paul, we're seeing a huge shift towards high-density artificial intelligence data centers, and we know all the issues that we get with those sorts of environments. So, in relation to standard fluids, how are you evolving beyond the fire suppression into thermal management, and how immersive cooling is going to play a huge part in the fluid purity?
Well, it's a very fast-moving part of the industry right now, and it's changing right now. There's a lot of money being thrown around. Right now, it's most of that technology is direct to chip for right now. There's some immersion cooling of single phase immersion cooling, where it's probably ultimately going to go is two-phase immersion cooling. And it's probably not there yet. There's a lot of proprietary work being done by the end users. And so Standard Fluids is ready to be a part of that in a very meaningful way. So we have that. We have that capability. We know how to make that happen, and to support those who are developing the high energy required computing that's necessary for that. The technology that we would have, that we would bring to bear, will solve a major problem that's out there right now, which is energy use and water use. Our technology that we would have can reduce the energy required by as much as 45 to 50%, and the actual cooling energy required by up to 95%. And as far as water is concerned, we can essentially eliminate the requirement for water, because with two-phase immersion cooling. So we have that capability of doing that. So the market is making the change, and we're ready to do that when it does.
A huge plus point, the elimination of the need for water, and especially with the surge towards environmental impact and sustainability. So another huge feather in Standard Fluids cap. Staying on the subject in relation to the data centers, and the way in which the dynamic industry landscape is changing. So how are Standard Fluids helping organizations stay ahead of the curve while maintaining the highest standards?
Well, we participate in the standards making organizations. Particularly for my expertise is in the fire protection side of things. I actually jumped out of a NFPA 2001 technical committee meeting to join this podcast. And my colleague Nick Johnson, he's the technical manager for Standard Fluids, and he just again another 3M'er that I hired into 3M. He was my succession plan at 3M. And lo and behold, here we are again working together. So I guess he might be my succession plan again. But he's at the committee right now in person, and so he's working on that. And so we continue to participate in the industry and support the industry in a meaningful way. We don't just take from the industry, we give back to it, and we continue to do that. So that's an example of how we do it. We do it similarly for the other industries, for data centers and immersion cooling and energy, the engineered fluid side of the business.
Excellent, and it again another indication of the way in which you lead your business in, and that there's a lot of organisations out there that could aspire to that and adopt the two-way street about giving back as much as you take out, and if that was adopted across the board, then the industry would be in a much happier and smarter place. But Paul, it's been hugely enlightening for me, and a real privilege to spend a few moments here this afternoon chatting with you. I take it's a great honour that you were able to take the time to step out of that committee, for which we're hugely grateful. There are bound to be lots and lots of questions that come out of this, and I'm sure that the team at Standard Fluids will see a rise in questions coming through off the back of this podcast and all the marketing that we will do with you guys. But all that's left for me to say is, Paul Rivers, thank you very much indeed, my friend, for spending some time with us. I'm Duncan White. I've been your host for today's podcast, and take care and stay safe, everyone.